Oh, hello guys, how are you guys? Welcome to the new video. I'm Martin and this is my YouTube channel, and this is the channel where I react to all kind of videos. Today we will react again about Europe, and this video is actually 50 fun and interesting facts about Europe. So let's see how many facts do I actually know as European.
Europe is a continent located entirely in the northern and eastern hemisphere. It is a continent of snow, sun, sea, castles and funny accents. It is rich in culture and history.
Yes, as you can hear from my English, I have funny accent and I do lots of grammatical mistakes while speaking.
So in this video we've created a list of 50 fun facts about this continent. Some interesting, some random, and some completely bizarre. Let us know in the comments which ones you already knew and which ones surprised you, because my name's Sam and you're watching the Geography Bible.
Okay, son.
Number 1. Moscow, Istanbul and London are the three most populated cities in Europe by urban area, with 17.7, 15.3 and 11.2 million respectively. By city limits population, however, Istanbul is the most populated, followed by Moscow and then London, with 15.3, 12.5 and 9 respectively. Number 2. The tallest building in Europe is in St. Petersburg in Russia, soaring into the sky like a glass shard. The Lakta Center is a whopping 460 meters in height. There are 87
that's pretty high.
7 stories in total. For reference, it is not far off half the size of the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Number 3. English is the most spoken language on the continent, with 51% of the population being able to speak it as a first or second language. German comes in second at 32%, and then French third at 26%. Number 4. Russia is the most populated country in Europe, as more than half of Russia's population is found in its European section.
Yeah, that makes sense, because the other part of Russia is Siberia, and yeah, I don't think there will be like a huge number of people living there. Like, of course there are like millions and millions of people living in that part of Russia, but yeah, the climate there is much more harsh than the European part of Russia.
Around 110 million in total. However,
Then European part of Russia.
as mentioned earlier, Russia of course spans across Europe and Asia, which is called Eurasia. For the country with the highest population that is purely in Europe, it will be Germany at just under 84 million. Number 5. The geographical center point of Europe is a village named Panuskes in Lithuania, located roughly 26 kilometers from its capital, Vilnius. Number 6.
Which is actually really like weird, because it doesn't look like the geographical center. I would say that, for example, geographical center would be in like Czech Republic or in Austria, Slovakia, maybe Hungary or the Poland, right? But no, it's on totally different place. So yeah.
Europe is the second smallest continent in size at just over 10 million kilometers squared, making it just larger than the United States, but just a third of the size of the continent of Africa. Number 7. Despite the continent being the second smallest by area, it has the third largest population, with around 748 million people. Number 8. Europe is entirely in the northern hemisphere, and most of the continent's landmass is in the eastern hemisphere. This is quite ironic, as the continent, along with America, is often referred to as the West. Number
Makes sense. Kind of, I would say at least that historically, even before discovering of America, it was like the western part of the known world. So I would say that it makes sense that it's still considered like West. But yeah, for example, right, after the commie times, some Central European and Eastern European countries are still considered like East, or already East, which a lot of us don't like to admit that we are East. I don't like to admit it that we are East, because I still consider myself as Central European, because we are in the center of Europe, right? But But yeah.
9. North Cape is the most northern point on the European landmass. Punta de Tarifa in Spain is the most southern point. Cabo da Roco in Portugal is the most western point. And finally, the most eastern point is actually undecided and is different depending on your definition of European borders. It lies somewhere in the Ural watershed. Number 10.
Yeah, the east border is like very, very complicated for Europe. Like it's very hard to find where that border is, right? We are literally connected to the Austria. We are literally connected to the Asia, so it's like, you know, you have to make like political right or geographical, but it's really hard to choose where it is that border.
European mammal fauna consists of 270 species, 78 of them endemic to Europe, 15% of them are threatened with extinction, and 27% have been identified as declining. Number 11. The most expensive house in Europe, and in fact the world, is Buckingham Palace, valued at just under $3 billion. It comprises of 775 rooms, 78 bathrooms, 92 offices, and 19 stater rooms. Number 12. At 19.5 million, London was the most visited city in Europe in 2019, pre-pandemic, making it the third most visited city in the world behind Hong Kong and Bangkok. Number 3.
I was never there in London. Unfortunately, I would like to visit one day in the future, maybe. That would be a nice, definitely it would be fun, like travel video, travel vlog from there, from visiting United Kingdom. Yeah, that's like one of my dream countries that I would like to visit, and mainly actually the northern part of the island. I'm interested more in Scotland and Wales. That are much more interesting to me than London, but London is on my bucket list.
13. The three largest countries in Europe are Russia, Ukraine, and France. The part of Russia that is found in Europe is bigger than any other country on the continent. Number 14. The smallest country in Europe, and in fact the world, is the Vatican City. It is the smallest both by land area and population. Number 15. Norway has 83,000 kilometers of coastline, the longest coastline in Europe and the second longest in the world, only behind Canada. Number 16.
Yeah. it's because I think it is because the Norway has like the fjords and stuff like that, so it's like, right, and it just make it like really long. It's not like straight line, so yeah.
There are 24 official languages in Europe, but more like 200 languages that are actually spoken around the continent. Number 17. In 2019, 7 of the top 10 most visited tourist attractions in the world were in Europe, the most visited being the Colosseum in Rome at 7.4 million visitors. Number 18. Liechtenstein, the 4th smallest country in Europe, does not have an airport. It is also a double landlocked country, meaning it's landlocked and the countries surrounding it are also landlocked. Number 19. Although Europe has just over 10% of the world's population, it is responsible for a quarter of the world's GDP, roughly $23.5 trillion US. If Europe was a single country, this would mean they'd have the highest GDP in the world, placing them only slightly ahead of the United States. Number 20.
Nice.
Again, if Europe was a single country, it would be the third most populated in the world, behind China and India. Remarkably, it would have roughly half of the population of both of these countries.
Yeah, as we can see here, they are talking about Europe, not the European Union, right? So all the other countries that are in Europe. So I think that even like the Ukraine and Russia and Belarus, right, are in that one number. At least I hope. At least. Or, yeah, I hope.
Number 21. Now, this one really did take me by surprise. Kazakhstan is partially in Europe. It is a transcontinental country that sits nicely in Central Asia, but as it's so large, it stretches across to Eastern Europe, where around 10% of its population live. Number 22. There is a rainforest in Europe. Yes, Europe's climate allows for rainforests. One of the last remaining is Perekica in Bosnia. The 3,500...
Wait a minute, what? Wait a minute, we can just...
House for rainforests. One of the last remaining is Perekika in
Perukika. Okay, the pronunciation is totally wrong. I'm not saying that I can pronounce it like correctly, but it's Slavic language there, and I'm Slavic, so yeah, that should be definitely Peručica. This is just sound, or at least I hope it is just sound. I was studying Slovenian language, which is much more closer to the language that they are speaking in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So I think it's Peručica, not the pronunciation that the guy in the video, or it's not like the guy pronounced it.
allows for rainforests. One of the last remaining is Perekika in Bosnia.
Yeah, it's
The
Peručica.
3,500 acre forest is a reserve of UNESCO's World Heritage List. Number 23. 10 villages in Scandinavia have the shortest city or town names in Europe, just one letter long. The city name, which means small brook or river in all Scandinavian languages, is found 9 times through the countries. Number 24. There are more bicycles than people in the Netherlands. Cycling is so popular in the Netherlands that 84% of all Dutch own at least one bicycle. With 22.3 million bicycles in the country for its 17 million residents, bike traffic and congestion is actually becoming a problem. Number 20.
Yeah, this is a thing in Western European countries, but if you are in like Central Europe, definitely you can find a similar like biking culture, which is not as developed as in Western countries, mainly Netherlands. But in Slovenia, almost every city has like bike lanes, so it's very, very actually safe and simple to bike around. For example, in Slovenia, in Maribor or Ljubljana or Celje, Kranj, whatever, there are bike lanes, so it's safe. And yeah, so yeah.
25. Monaco has the highest life expectancy not just in Europe but the entire world. Maybe it's because of Monaco's beautiful sun-drenched location along the French Riviera. Maybe it's because of the popularity of the Mediterranean diet, found to be one of the healthiest in the world. In any case, the people of Monaco live on average to be 89.4 years, the highest not just in Europe but the entire world.
Or maybe it is because in Monaco only like rich people live, and they had like good medical facilities there, and the greatest physicians, or they can travel to visit like the greatest doctors in the world. So maybe that's why they are living so long. I don't know. that is just my my opinion.
Number 26. Now, which company do you think has the highest value in Europe?
I don't know. Maybe Volkswagen.
It must be one of Germany's car companies like Volkswagen, right? Nope, it's LVMH, or Louis Vuitton as it's more commonly known.
Oh no.
It is the most valuable company on the continent, at a market cap of around $350 billion.
I didn't know this. I was really thinking about Volkswagen.
LVMH controls around 60 subsidiaries that each manage a small number of prestigious brands. Number 27. Now, Europe isn't really known for its tall skyscrapers. It is more of a continent filled with ruins and castles. The city in Europe with the most skyscrapers belongs to Moscow at 65, placing them 29th highest in the world. Number 28. Heathrow Airport in London is the busiest airport on the continent. Pre-pandemic in 2019, nearly 81 million passengers passed through. However, Heathrow was dethroned in 2020 and 2021 by Istanbul Airport, which actually opened in 2019. Number 29. Iceland is the least densely populated country in Europe, at just 3 people per kilometre squared. However, the majority of the country live in its capital, Reykjavik, which has a population density of 480 people per kilometre squared. Number 30.
Yeah, Reykjavik is another place on my bucket list. I would like to visit, and the whole Iceland. It's that is just like great place to visit. I would say for like every travel. Like Iceland is like must. Yeah, but let's not make it like a too much touristic place, because it will change the place, and usually not not to like best, but usually to worst. Yeah, tourism sometimes destroy some of the places.
According to Visual Capitalist's estimations, London is the city with the highest GDP in Europe at around $1 trillion, placing them 5th in the world and just above Paris. Number 31. Europe is home to the deadliest and longest war in recorded history. World War II at around 80 million deaths, and Reconquista at around 781 years. The Reconquista was a period in the history of the Iberian Peninsula of about 780 years of war between Spanish Christians and Muslims. Number 32.
Yeah, I feel like throughout the history, like European royalty loved, like that was like the I would say that, you know, someone placed civilization today, and yeah, in the past Europeans were just doing it in real life, or you know, they were just sending armies to each other, or they were like marrying their child to each other to not make a war. But yeah, wars in Europe, the worst thing that actually people decided to do. Wars and fights, and yeah.
On the 11th of August 2021, Sicily in Italy recorded the highest ever temperature in Europe at 48.8 degrees Celsius,
crazy.
Or 120 degrees Fahrenheit.
That is crazy.
Number 33. And on the other end of the spectrum, the lowest temperature ever recorded in Europe was minus 58.1 degrees Celsius, or minus 72.6 degrees Fahrenheit. In Russia. Number 34. According to the Economist Intelligent Unit ranking, Zurich is the most livable city in Europe and the 7th most livable in the world.
But unfortunately, for like average European, it's still expensive to live in Zurich, or at least for people from Central and Eastern Europe, it's like very expensive to actually find a house and job and just live in the Switzerland, which it's like a lot of people actually did that, and they are now living and work in Switzerland, but it's definitely not one of the countries that is like the easiest to move in.
35. At around 75% in 2021, Norway is the country with the highest share of plug-in electric car sales in Europe. For reference, Iceland comes in second at 45%. Number 36. Just one of the world's 7 wonders of the world is found in Europe, the Colosseum, located in Rome, Italy. Likewise, just one of the world's 7 natural wonders is also located in Europe. And technically, it isn't even Europe, it's in space. It is the Northern Lights, or the Aurora Borealis. Number 37.
Nice.
The richest country on the continent when measuring GDP or economy size goes to Germany at around 4.2 trillion US dollars, placing them 4th in the world. Number 38. When it comes to GDP per capita, however, Liechtenstein is the richest in Europe and in fact the world.
Yeah, like Liechtenstein was always like very rich, so it makes sense. And yeah,
2020.
I was actually working in so the former like ruler, but it's not ruler. How it's called? I don't know how the position is called in the like the royal family, but I was working in one of their castles that are now owned in Czech Republic by the state. But in the past, before World War II, it was owned by the family of Liechtenstein that actually rule over the Liechtenstein, right? And yeah, it was interesting. They're actually going there during the summers, actually like check their like chateaus and castles, check on them. But yeah, there are actually like lawsuits with Czech Republic, I think, with Liechtenstein's, that they want their like property back, but I don't think that they will get it back, because yeah, a long history again.
The United Nations estimated this value to be around 180,000 US dollars. Number 39. The country with the most Nobel Prizes in Europe belongs to the UK at 138.
I feel like this whole video is about UK, mainly.
It must be noted, however, that Frederick Sanger received
UK and Russia.
this prestigious award twice for his work in chemistry. Number 40. The top 3 countries in the world with the most islands are all in Europe, and they are all in fact Nordic countries and neighbours. This is Sweden, Norway and Finland. They have 268,000, 239,000 and 179,000 islands each, respectively. Number 41. At 136, Germany.
We've seen this clip a few times throughout this video, right? And I think that this is Munich. It is Munich, München. Let me know in the comments if you know what city is this. But I feel like this looks like Munich, this building, but I'm not 100% sure.
Germany has the most billionaires in Europe. Per 2 million people, there are roughly 3 billionaires. To put this in perspective, the US is the country with the most billionaires at 724 and 3.9 billionaires per 2 million people. Number 42. Germany not only excels in wealth, it plays pretty good football too, or soccer depending on where you're from. With a total of 4 World Cup wins, the Germans have the equal most World Cup trophies in Europe, tying with Italy.
Nice.
However, Germany have 4 runners-up medals compared to Italy's 2. Number 4.
Yeah, football or soccer is actually a big thing in Europe, and I advise you to visit some of the football matches if you will be in Europe. And if you are how would I say it, if you have balls, right, go to Balkan countries for a football match and try to if you don't want to get into the fights, right, because it happens there sometimes, just find some place where the family with its children sits, and usually nothing will happen there. But yeah, the ultras in Europe are crazy sometimes, and yeah. But yeah, sport fans, I don't get it. I don't really like football. I don't watch it. I just know that the ultras are sometimes problematic in Europe, and they are doing big mess in the cities when the football matches are happening somewhere.
43. Excluding Russia, Germany is the highest CO2 emitting country in Europe. Its CO2 emissions are estimated to be around 800 million tons, making them the 6th highest emitter in the world. For reference, the UK is the 17th highest emitter at around 370 million tons, so more than half. Number 44. At 3,790 kilometers, the Volga River is the longest river and the 16th longest in the world. Situated in Russia, it flows through central Russia to southern Russia and into the Caspian Sea. Number 45. Okay. Camp Nou, Barcelona FC's football or soccer stadium.
Oh, football.
is the highest capacity stadium in Europe at just under 100,000. Although this stadium is unbelievably huge and impressive, it still does not feature in the top 10 in the world.
Crazy.
Number 46. Germans sure do love a museum. At 6,741, Germany has by far the most museums in Europe, the second most in the world, only to the US.
And the German museums are really nice, really nice, and I visited few of them in Munich and in how it is in English, Dresden. I don't know I will write it onto the video, right, the captions, but yeah, they have really nice museums.
Who have a mind-boggling 33,000. Number 47. At around 34%, Apple just beats Samsung at being the smartphone vendor with the highest market share across the European continent. The UK is the country with the highest market share of Apple users at 53%. Number 48. The euro is the official currency of 19 of the 27 member states of the European Union. It is classed as the second most important currency in the world, only behind the US dollar. Number 49. Spread across 52 acres and located in Poland, Malbork Castle is the largest castle in Europe and, of course, the world.
I was thinking that the Prague castle is the biggest castle, but yeah, maybe it is this one. I don't know.
It is also considered the largest brick structure ever built with human hands. And finally,
Okay, nice.
number 50. Bulgaria is the oldest country in Europe and the only country that has not changed its name since it was first established. Kosovo, on the other hand, is the youngest country in Europe, while Serbia and a handful of other countries such as Russia and China do not recognize Kosovo's.
Slovakia does not recognize Kosovo too, and there is again like a lot of political reasons why Slovakia don't recognize this country. So yeah, it's complicated. So we are not going to start this topic here, but yeah.
Independence, the International Court of Justice ruled that Kosovo is a sovereign nation in 2010. So there we have it, 50 fun facts about Europe. Did any of these catch you out or take you by surprise? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to drop a like. If you didn't, that's fine, you can always dislike the video. Subscribe if you haven't already, it's completely free and you can always unsubscribe at any time. Thank you for watching and we will see you very soon in the next video.
Okay, so this was the video called 50 fun and interesting facts about Europe, and it was more of the 50 fun and interesting facts about Great Britain, Germany and Russia, right? But whatever, it was a nice video. Maybe I will find the next time more interesting facts about the other European countries that are small but very interesting. I hope you like this video. I hope you learned something new. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video to your friends. And see you later. See you next time. Bye.